Wow, viewers, listeners of teacher Karigodoto Ngugi. Today I have brought you the novel which is The River Between by Ngugi wa Thiong'o from Kenya. This novel was written in the year of 1965 after independence of Kenya. Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote this novel to educate and remind the readers, especially the young generations, on the issue of cultural interference between African culture and Western culture on the issue of religion or Christianity. The novel The River Between by Ngugi wa Thiong'o is rich with symbolism. I can say it is a symbolic title. The river stands to represent the cultural and the spiritual divide between two tribes, symbolizing their difference and conflict. The ridges stand for the physical and metaphorical barriers that keep the community apart, and circumcision rituals symbolizes tradition, the initiation into adulthood. Christianity represents the clash of culture and the arrival of colonial influences. The sacrifice God represents the sacrifice nature of the community's choices. In essence, the novel uses these symbols to portray complexity of cultural identity, colonialism, and the struggle faced by the characters in their quest of unity and acceptance. My name is teacher Karigodoto Ngugi, the award analyst from Tanzania, Africa. Dear listeners, especially the university students, college students, tutorials, lecturers, welcome in my YouTube channel to learn a short summary, the synopsis of this novel, The River Between by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. The story tells about the struggle of a young leader, Wayaki, to unite the two villages of Kameno and Makuyu through sacrifice and pain. The novel is set during the colonial period, as I said, when white settlers arrived in Kenya's white land and has mountain setting. The story tells about the struggle of a young leader, Wayaki, to unite two villages of Kameno and Makuyu through sacrifice and pain. The novel is set, as I said, is set during the colonial period when white settlers arrived in Kenya's White Highland and has mountain setting. A young man called Wayaki is a focal point in the Ngugi story. At an early age, Wayaki was already considered to have a special gifts. He once encountered two boys fighting and attempted to break up the squabble. Although he was the youngest of the three, he was able to put a stop to the violence. Ngugi reveals that the three boys, Wayaki, Kamau, and Kinusia, are all destined to study at a local mission school's neighbor, and from there to become teachers. Wayaki is eventually enrolled at the school at the behest of his father, Chege. He explained to young Wayaki the legend of Savior who would be born into their village and accomplish great things for his people. Wayaki's father believes that he is that Savior, although Wayaki is skeptical of such a fantastical prophet. He excels in the school and is well on his way to playing a vital role in the development of his people. The significance of Chege's eagerness to send Wayaki to to the mission school resting on the fact that the boy would be in position to learn the wisdom of the colonialist. This knowledge would equip Wayak for the struggle against the colonial government. Despite liberating potential of this knowledge, Wayak must ensure he does not embrace the colonial system, as doing so would defeat the purpose of his training. As the story progresses, the division between two villages intensifies, and the proposed circumcision of young girl Musoni causes much dissension within the community. Her death organizes the missionary school in which Wayak is enrolled into action, going so far as to expel children whose parents still uphold the tradition of circumcision. Wayak is among those forced from the school. In response, he decided to take up the challenge of building a school for the expelled children. While he still does not fully understand the leadership role his father predicted he would take up, he begins to realize that his mission is to enable education for the children of the villages. He becomes so preoccupied with these goals that he fails to recognize and address the other needs of his community, such as reclaiming land seized by the colonialists. Some villagers begin conspiring behind closed doors, eventually forming a secret organization known as Kiama, whose singular purpose is to ensure the purity of the tribe. As a result of this upheaval, Wayak makes enemies. Among them is Kabonyi, who is beginning to provoke disasters in the community to undermine and destroy Wayak. Eventually, Wayak succumbs to Kabonyi's triggers, while he decides nothing more than to quell the growing unrest within the village and heal the angst among the people. He is powerless to undo the polarizing effect of colonialism. Wayak blames himself for having failed to address the lack of unity in time. The story concludes on Onna's note. Wayak and his new love interest in Nyambula find themselves in the hands of the Kiama, who would then decide their fate. What happens beyond that remains mysterious. Ngugi wa Thiong'o used some of characters in his novel to send the message to the readers like you. Number one is Wayak, an ambitious young man who tries to save his people from the white man by building schools and providing education. Number two is Chege. Wayak, his father, is well-respected elders of his tribe, presiding over a range of ceremonies, also known as the prophecies, including the invasion of white people with their clothes like butterflies, and the savior rising to face this threat. Number three is Joshua, father of Musoni and the Nyambula. He represents the influence of the white man and is one of the Wayak's antagonistic. He was one of the first people to be converted to Christianity, seeking refuge in Syria because he feared the revenge and anger of his people who felt betrayed. He became increasingly religious until he is almost a fanatic, renouncing his tribal ritual and traditions. Another character is Musoni. She is the Joshua's young daughter. Instead of following the Christian ways of life, she follows the traditional path, chooses to get circumcised to become a woman. Another character is Nyambula. Musoni is the older sister, but not as a revolutionist because she is not as an independent. While Musoni openly rebels against her father, Nyambula follows because she fears his anger. She falls in love with Wayak and starts a secret affair which leads to his downfall, as the relationship is considered a treason among the council. Another character is Kabonyi. He is the father of Kamau. He represents the council of elders and therefore the consecutive forces within the community. It detests Wayak due to conflicting ideology and fear that Wayak may be the one sent to save the people. Another character is Kinusia, a close and a loyal friend of Wayak's and a teacher of Malioshon. Kinusia loves Wayak and thinks he is a great leader, but he often warns his friend to imminent trouble at Wayak's final stand. He is nearly crippled with fear and foreboding. He can say nothing to dissuade the Kiama from punishment. Another character is Kamau, Kabonyi's son and peer of Wayak. He is a teacher at Malioshon. Kamau is extremely jealous of Wayak, especially when he realizes Nyambula loves Wayak. He works with his father to top Wayaki from his bench of power. Another character is Miriam, Joshua's wife and mother to Musondi Nyambula. She is devout to Christianity, but she still has a Kikuyu spirit inside. She loves her daughter and weeps for their sorrows. Those are characters which employed by Ngugi wa Thiong'o in his novel The River Between. Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote this novel to criticize on the issue of colonialism, especially the effect of colonialism in Africa. We know that colonialism has an effect in our continent, in our countries, because the white peoples came in Africa for their benefit and not for the purpose of Africans. That's why they introduced the Christianity, the religion, different religions, so as to exploit the Africans on the issue of natural resources we have. And also Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote this novel to remind the young generations on the issue of colonialism and the issue of cultural interference. Our main themes is all about the cultural interference, especially on the issue of culture. Two cultures are different. The novel, when critical studies the River Between, centered around the theme of culture clash and the struggle for leadership in this novel. The first paragraph of the novel is microcosms of the structure of the novel. The two ridges lay side by side. One was Kameno, the other was Kamakui. Between them was a valley. It was a valley of life. Okay. After looking the short summary of this novel, The River Between, also you should know the themes found in this novel. The first theme is colonialism. The River Between tells the story of Wayaki, a young Gikuyu man, the largest indigenous tribe in Kenya, who struggled to unite two neighboring villages against white colonialists. The second theme is Christianity. Christianity. The River Between tells two rival villages that struggle to unite, Lazarus and many opposite. Chief among Makuyu and Kamenos disagreement are how to respond to the white missionaries. Christianity. The village of Kameno reject Christianity and insist on tribal purity, fiercely defending traditional custom and identity. Meanwhile, the village of Makuyu embraced Christianity and spans tribal tradition. However, two of the novel characters, young man named Wayaki and a young woman named as a Musoni, oppose such a notion of purity and the struggle to combine the Christianity and their tribal customs. And also another theme is tradition versus progress. The Kikuyu tribal people in the regions of Kenya live a traditional agrarian lifestyle and they are isolated from the rest of the world. However, when white colonialists begin to spread across Kenya and even into this isolated hills country, Wayaki recognized that the Kikuyu must be adapting themselves to this new slash or be overrun by it. Another theme is unity and division. Wayaki feels convinced that the paired division and the feuds between Kameno and the Makuyu must end, since neither village is strong or large enough to resist the white colonialists on their own. Although educating children is critically important, Wayaki also felt that two villages must unite and face their common enemies together to strive for their political freedoms. Wayaki, Kwizuyana, Makuyu, and Kameno against the white people. That is the synopsis of this novel, The River Between by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote this novel by using a flashback plot. That's why he tells us the past events, and also divides this novel into 26 chapters with different events and actions among characters. As I said, the title is symbolic, and also the setting is Kenya after independence, especially on the two villages, Kameno and Makuyu. And also the style employed by the Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the use of narrations. He narrates the stories of many characters, Wayak, and also the use of third person point of view, pronoun he, they, and she. And also the main themes already I said, the cultural interference, especially on the issue of culture. And also message, we get a main message. When you read this novel, I think you have learned something on the issue of colonialism. Africans should be aware on the issue of colonialism. Colonialism is not our friends. And also you learned on the issue of Christianity, especially those Africans who betrayed their cultures. And also you learned on the issue of traditions. Do you agree to beliefs on the gods, or we should adopt, or we should avoid the outdated customs? And also the main conflict in this novel is cultural conflict between the believers and the non-believers in Africa. All the Africans differ in ideologies. There are Africans who believe in gods and Africans who believe in gods. And another conflict, the social conflict among the societies, and you see the society of Wayak and the family of Kabonyes. And also the lowland position of women. There are some of women portrayed as true lovers, example Musoni, and also portrayed as the patriotic or revolutionary struggle against, example Musons. And also this novel is still relevant in our society because there are people who struggle against their culture. Most of the Africans, some of Africans betrayed their cultures, and also there are people suffering with love, and so on. That is the end of the novel analysis called The River Between by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. This novel is used in Africa and other parts of the world, especially in the ordinary level, advanced level, and university level. Example, in our countries, Tanzania, this novel is used in university level and college level. Thank you for listening to me. That is the end of the novel analysis. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment below this video. My name is Teacher Kadonji, the Manju of Literature and the young African writer from Tanzania, Africa. Thank you for listening. You are welcome.